Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Let me see who was here first. Lydia Washington. Okay, thank you so much. Judy Matassid, Cherry Traveler, Mary H. Um, I'm sorry, Nolando. Wait, Nolu. Wait, I always. Okay, one more time. Nian Denny, thank you so much for being here. No, wait a minute. Why am I struggling today? No Lolando, no Lubando Nian Denny. Got it. Thank you so much for being here. And hello to who else is here? Rodney Jackson, very cool. And a host of friends and others. How about that? I got a bunch of stuff to cover, so we best get on with it. And as per usual, I was working on the files, slides that is, to the absolute last moment. Okay. So, bombs bursting in air. Let's see, what's the rest of that song? And the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting. Well, anyway, there's going to be fireworks all night and all tomorrow night and all weekend. So I am bracing myself. I usually just go outside and look because there's so many open spaces around here. There's like a bunch of fireworks. Don't even have to go to the official places or anything like that. Okay, there we go. There we go. So take a look. A king, a prince, a queen, and a princess. Or two kings and two queens, depending on how you want to look at it. Identifying that second queen, or is it two queens? No, I'm sorry, three queens and one king. Ain't that something? Just starting off messy. Just starting off messy. Anyway, let's get on with it, shall we? Got a lot of stuff to cover. So, united through marriage, the United States and the United Kingdom, even though it seems like we can't be any further apart, there's more than an ocean that separates us. It seems to be the idea of monarchy versus, an elected head of state. Either way, this year there's going to be an election in quite a few places, especially in the United States, as you know, this November, always November. And then, of course, tomorrow in the United Kingdom, people are going out to vote. So let's pray for God's guidance for the voters. Let's hope that the electorate will choose wisely. Okay. All right. Hello, Sharon, Marcia Lawrence Hunter, and Tara Levette. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. So we love this guy, right? Well. I did not realize I was going to start off with playing something for you, but I have a much longer version of the conversation with the TMZ. I was about to say TMZ, the TMZ. But let's do this first. Jake Wood is his name. And I love what he said right here. I definitely didn't have getting a call from TMZ I definitely didn't have getting a call from TMZ to talk about Prince Harry on my 2024 bingo card. But as you know, that's exactly what happened. TMZ did contact him. And aren't we glad that they did that? You know, And I'm going to say some things about something along that line very soon, if I remember. You know me, if I remember. Also, you can see on the right side, he said, at the end of the day, Harry could have done 100 different things with his celebrity and resources, but he chose to serve and then he continued serving. He's touched the lives of thousands of veterans through the Invictus Games. I don't speak from that is for Pat Tillman, Pat's mother, or any veteran or any or that is or other past recipients. But from my perspective, Prince Harry is every bit as deserving of this award as I was. Ooh, I don't do well reading a black background. Now the those white letters on that back black oh, listen to me, I can't even say it. On that black background, that hurts my eyes. Always hurts my eyes. Okay, but that's the way I took it off the interweb, so I should have changed it to a white background. What was I thinking? But I'm literally sitting here with my eyes closed for a second trying to adjust. Ooh, okay. Am I ready yet? I tell you what, I'm going to squint my eyes and get past that one. Wow, that hurts. That hurts. Okay. Now, so as you remember, the Pat Tillman Award recipient says Prince Harry deserves the honor. ESPN defends Prince Harry's Pat Tillman Award honors. As well they should. As well they should. And you know what? I'm just going to be honest and say this. I don't care who's listening. It will definitely benefit ESPN, the Pat Tillman Foundation. As for the foundation, it is definitely going to help them with fundraising. However, let me just qualify that by saying, as I demonstrated yesterday, the Pat Tillman Foundation seems to have had an eye on Prince Harry for quite some time. There's nothing new about their, um, I guess, appreciation for Harry's efforts to help veterans and their families. And that's the part I get a little frustrated because they keep leaving out the family part. Not that that's the biggest deal in the world, but it should be noted that it's not just about the veterans, but it's the veterans and their families, right? It's the veterans and their families. And that's the way it's always been, is the veterans and their families. So that part um, is easy to, you know, neglect saying that. But I'm just going to remind everyone that it's not just the veterans, but it's the veterans and their families because as so many people believe nowadays, when one member of the family serves, everybody serves. So, obviously, not in the same way, but I do believe in that expression because I just think it's accurate. And in some cases, Americans do join their families overseas. So, um, I think you can say, in all fairness, that in some cases that's true. So, anyway, I won't nitpick at those little details. Let me continue here. Um, okay. Before I do that, let me just go ahead and get to him. Okay. And then I got something else I'm going to share with you. And then I will tell you why I think all of this criticism of Harry is not necessarily the worst thing in the world. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I mean, I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. And I, just like you, I believe it's very unfair, but it's not the end of the world. Okay. It's not the worst thing ever. Um, hmm. So let me see here. Is this it? Okay, so we'll start it off and then we'll do a little discussion and continue.
ESPYs later this month. Now, Pat Tillman's mother has spoken out and said that she feels like this is a publicity stunt and that Prince Harry is undeserving because the award typically goes to more unsung heroes.
And that Harry is divisive, according to her.
Right. Yeah, exactly. She's the word divisive, and that there should be a better person to win this award. That's not necessarily how previous winners of this award feel. In fact, we spoke to a couple of them, and they think Harry actually is the perfect person to win this award. One of the previous winners, his name is Jake Wood. He's a U.S. Marine. He's also a former college football player and served in Iraq, Afghanistan, also did some work in Haiti. And that part of the story is what I think is interesting here because it parallels with Prince Harry's story.
It aligns with what Harry does.
Joining us right now, the previous winner of the Pat Tillman's Award for Service, Jake Wood. Welcome to TMZ Live.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me.
Hey, Jake. So I know you're a big supporter of giving this award, which was bestowed on you, to Prince Harry. Make the case.
Yeah, well, listen, first of all, I want to say that I can only speak for myself. I don't speak for the Tillman family. I certainly don't speak for any other veteran or past recipient. But having received the award in 2018, I look at Prince Harry and I see someone who I see as deserving. Here's a man that served his country, served alongside me and my fellow Americans in Afghanistan. He chose a dangerous job flying Apache helicopters, and let's put it out there. I mean, he's a royal prince, right? There's 100 different things that Prince Harry could have done with his life after his service in the British Armed Forces, but he's chosen to dedicate a big portion of his post-military life to helping his fellow veterans, and not just veterans in the UK, but veterans around the world who served as part of our alliance through his effort at the Invictus Games. And I know, hundreds of military veterans from the United States that have participated in the Invictus Games and who have come away, feeling more empowered, more fulfilled, a higher sense of purpose. And so from my perspective, again, I think this is someone who has used his celebrity to advance a cause that is near and dear to my heart. In what better way, what better person to honor than that?
Jake, you mentioned that you know some people who participated in the Invictus Games. Did any of them have come away from, aside from the games, which obviously you understand the benefit of that, but any of them have any interactions with Prince Harry, and did they walk away with a feeling about the man as opposed to just the games?
Well, I have spoken with people that have interacted with Prince Harry in the past, and they all say the same thing. He's a humble person who doesn't come off as anything other than another fellow veteran. He wants to sit there and he wants to swap the war stories. He wants to make sure that that people are taking care of one another. There was never any sort of air of superiority or anything about him, as was reported to me from people that interacted.
Yeah, we did a documentary on Harry 2 years ago. And we heard the exact same thing from people who served with him and said he just wanted to be part of the pack and would do things that really shocked people. I remember he was sucking gas out of a tank at one point because it needed to be done. And it was one of the best experiences of his life, he told people. That said, he is a controversial figure in the United States, given what's going on, with.
Now, I hate that. And this idea that Harry is a controversial figure here in the United States, that right there is completely uncalled for. And I'm just going to add to that the fact that it's just like with that Heritage Foundation when they say the American people want to know about Harry's green card status, right? Or how about Melania Trump saying the American people want to know about, want to see Barack Obama's birth certificate? These are things that, in all fairness, people should be aware of if you're dealing with someone running for public office. Harry's not running for public office. And his green card status is nobody's business. That belongs to the government. It is unprecedented for any individual to have to do that type of explaining. We have the Freedom of Information Act, and there is some law or something equivalent to that in the United Kingdom and other places. And that's fine. But then you have people that abuse the privilege. And it is a privilege for someone to go to a government and demand information in such a way. But when you're dealing with the government, thank goodness that there are very wise and intelligent judges that will determine whether or not it is in the public's interest, whether or not it is germane. And when they decide it is not, hopefully that is the right decision for everyone involved. And someone's green card status, what difference does it make? This idea the American people want to know, no, the American people, actually, the person who says that usually wants the American people to be angered. And it also is a way to help fundraise and push whatever agenda. It's just not important in the long run. And calling Harry this divisive, that type of name calling, and that's what it is, name calling, it is so unnecessary. You have not heard anyone lead a conversation until Pat Tillman. You don't hear people lead the conversation here in the U.S. by calling Prince Harry divisive. And it was the same when that one reporter, the black lady in England, the one who compared Meghan. Did she compare Meghan to Trump and say she was controversial? You don't do that. Anybody who's famous, anyone who, I guess people have to choose whether or not they like that person. And of course, those choices are all created by the press in order to sell papers or to generate clickbait. These are false choices because they really do not affect most people, should I say, the greater public, from one day to the next. But they create a soap opera, they create a firestorm, and they force people to choose. But Meghan's not running for public office. Harry's not running for public office. And so, what they do from one day to the next, their legal status, none of those things directly affect the greater public. So, for what is his name, Harvey, for Harvey to say something like that, I just, oh man, that was a really low blow and it's totally unnecessary.
And Meghan versus the royal family and all. I guess what
Maybe
you're
that's
saying
what-
is you can separate that from the good work that he does.
Listen, I think people can have opinions about Harry, about his relationship with Meghan Markle. They can have opinions about his book, the documentary. They can have opinions about any of those things. And maybe some people find them controversial. I hope what is not controversial is the service that he has given to his country and to our alliance. And I hope what's not controversial is the work that he's done to support military veterans in his time since. Those things are, in my opinion, above reproach. And I think it's perfectly okay. In fact, I think it should be celebrated that it's, a light's being shown upon that.
Jake, I think it's interesting that you brought up the Invictus Games and how people who have benefited from that competition that Harry has organized. I would imagine that when you received the award in 2018, a big part of it was not just your military service, but what you have done, the charitable organization that you organized and the work that you've done. If you could talk a little bit about what that organization does.
Yeah, well, I certainly didn't win the ESPY award for my poor college football career. So I think it probably has more to do with the work that I did running an amazing organization called Team Rubicon that recruits, trains, and deploys military veterans and first responders for disaster response and humanitarian relief operations around this country and around the world. We really found this opportunity to empower military veterans through continued service, using those skills and experiences that they gained to help people on their worst day following disasters and crises. There've been, I'm one of many Pat Tillman awardees over the years who have, taken their time in uniform and moved forward into their life after service, continuing to serve their country in new ways. And so I'm really proud to be a part of that lineage.
Yeah, and I know that your Team Rubicon, you guys were in Haiti after the disaster down there, and that this is something you do around the world. And what you just said is so important, I think, Jake, that not enough people think about the difficulty that so many veterans go through after they're out of the service, feeling like they have PTSD, feeling like they're not of any service to people. So your organization and things that, and even, the Invictus Games, I think is such an important thing because it does give them a reason to live. We've heard a lot about the suicide rate among veterans. So kudos to you. And it's easy to see why the ESPYs honored you. And thank you for giving us your opinion about.
And easy to see why the ESPYs is honoring Prince Harry. If they had as much charity and consideration, if they were more thoughtful about Harry's contribution, then I probably wouldn't be pushing so hard to set the record straight. But the problem is all of the media, especially here in the US, I'm sorry to say it, but they just don't do enough to talk about the good work that the Sussexes are doing. They love to bring that soap opera of the royal family in there.
About Harry.
I have one more question. What state do you live in, Jake?
I live in California today.
Has anybody approached you for running for politics?
I don't know. If I would have wanted to join the circus, I would have done that out of high school.
That's the right answer. That's the right answer. That's going to make them want you more, by the way.
That's exactly right.
That's going to make them want you more. So
that is exactly
we apologize.
right.
So if you get the phone call after this, we apologize. But
thank you so much, Jake. Really, and thank you for your service.
so much, man.
All right, thank you.
So Jake Wood, God bless him. Listen, this guy should run for public office, although I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But the reason why he said that, in my opinion, is because of the way he handled those questions, because I'm pretty sure that he gave them a little bit more than what they were expecting. I'm sure of that. It seems as though they were trying to lead the conversation in a different way, and he just did not give them the benefit. So, yeah, I don't think I've ever laid eyes on this guy before yesterday, but I like him. I think he's very sharp and he's very fair. So I wish there were more people like that. Oh, let's do this one. I'm going to pin that to the top of the chat. This is the link for the membership, the Royal Sussex official membership. For just $4.99, you can get a membership to Royal Sussex. Now, someone just got a membership through the Patreon, which I have been saying for the longest. I got to shut down this Patreon, and I still haven't done it. But if you are on Patreon and you're supporting this channel, please move your support over to this link right here. You can go ahead and close the Patreon and move your support over to this link here. Patreon really wants you to maintain a whole nother channel, and it is just too much work considering what I'm doing over here. So I have never done much with the Patreon. I don't add any videos. I don't do any special Patreon videos or anything like that. So again, please get rid of your Patreon and move it over to the YouTube. I know some people say, oh, well, YouTube keeps too much of, I don't care about that. I really don't. YouTube has given me this platform, and I'm very grateful for it. And so I don't worry about, what is that? Render unto Caesar's. What is Caesar? However that goes. Don't worry about that. Everybody is getting a cut from somewhere. Whether it's a little or a lot, everybody's getting something. So I just to make it easier, come on over to the YouTube, right? And then that way you can use those little stickers like everybody's using and all that kind of stuff. I don't even think I set up memberships for the Buy Me a Coffee because I don't want to do that over there either. Just so much simpler if everything goes through the YouTube. So, but to buy me a coffee is an option if you like to do like a one-time donation or something like that. Fine, but I'm not even going to do memberships on Buy Me a Coffee. I like to keep it simple. Okay, so thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Again, the memberships for Royal Sussex, you can see that link at the top of the chat. And thank you, everyone who has a membership already. That is incredibly helpful for this work, and I do appreciate it. Lydia Avakis, thank you so much. Yes, it's 60,000 subscribers. Can you believe it? Just another 40,000, and I'm going to get that silver play button. I'm going to go to Disney World. If only, gosh, I hope they just send it to you in the mail. And if you don't know what the silver play button is, that is that plaque that you see a lot of the content creators. They have them like behind them when they're talking. And wow, that would be so cool. That would be so cool. It's like a way to celebrate everything that has happened so far. So now this right here, this is what I'm gonna reference when I said it's not all so bad. So this came from Us Weekly, I think. Prince Harry's military career from enlistment to from enlistment and retirement to Invictus Games and beyond. So Prince Harry has remained dedicated to the military following his retirement from the British Royal Army in 2015. The Duke of Sussex is one of many members of the British royal family to serve their country throughout history. Harry was part of the armed forces for 10 years, with his service beginning in 2005. 1 year later, the royal family member was set to go to Iraq and fight alongside the Blues and the Royals comrades. However, the assignment was switched once news broke that the prince would be on the front lines, causing concern for his safety and that of his fellow brothers in arms. I wonder how that leaked. I mean, I know they said it was but yeah, who leaked it to them, right? I think it might have been somebody who was a little jealous, somebody who was just a little jaded because they didn't want to see their brother have any type of military success, right? Somebody a little jealous. I'm just saying. Wonder how that leaked. Or could it have been what's that expression? Somebody let the horse. Yeah, don't bother. That's like closing the barn door after the horses have. Anyway, I guess I'm trying to say maybe somebody else had a reason. I don't know. We don't know. We don't know. That's just speculation. Judy Matasset, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, let me get this off the screen and let's continue. So when I say that it's not all bad, because we are forced to push back, a lot of people are going to learn about Harry for the very first time. If you take a look here, the youngest son of Charles and the late Princess Diana eventually went to battle in Afghanistan, making him the first royal since Prince Andrew to serve in a combat zone. Harry has spoken about his time in the military on many occasions, explaining how he felt like a regular guy when he was in uniform. Following his retirement, Harry founded the Invictus Games in 2014 as a multi-sport event for wounded, injured, and sick servicemen and women. So I just saw this today and I thought it was like, wow, how cool is this? I hope more people have a chance to see it. Um, what they've done here is they've given you like, I guess this is as complete a record as I've ever seen. They allow you to scroll through the article and you can see starting from 2005. Harry passed the regular commissions board qualification in September, allowing him to begin his 44 weeks of officer cadet training at the Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst. And then over here, oh my God, that's small. Hold on a second. Let me see what I can do about that. Uh-oh, let me see. That's a wee bit small. Make it bigger. There we go. In 2006, Clarence House announced in January that the prince was joining the Blues and the Royals. 3 months later, he was commissioned as an army officer. And from 2007 to 2008, Harry was deployed to Afghanistan, working as a forward air controller. He spent 10 weeks there before the media learned of his location and reported his role in the mission in February 2008. Those MFers. Pardon my language. And then check it out here. There's more. You wait, there's more. Okay, 2008. The Royal was promoted to the rank of lieutenant with the Household Cavalry in April following his first tour overseas. And then back in 2012, Harry returned to Afghanistan as a helicopter co-pilot and gunner until 2013. And then, if that's not enough, check it out. 2015, Harry's military career ended in June. After 10 years of service, he was a captain when he retired. And I hope they didn't. Well, okay. We'll get to that. In 2017, the Duke of Sussex was promoted to Captain General Royals Marine in December, a role that was previously held by his late grandfather. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, Lord. All right, let me do this. Move this over here. And there we go. So in 2018, Harry received 3 more promotions: Major in the British Army, Lieutenant Commander in the Royal Navy, and Squadron Leader in the Royal Air Force. In June, the honorary Navy and Royal Air Force ranks were later pulled after he stepped back as a senior royal in 2020. And then, if you move over to the right, in 2019, the royal put on a Santa suit to speak with bereaved military children in December. You are part of an amazing community, and there is support for you. Every single day, should you need it, he said in a video for the Scotty's Little Soldier charity, having met some of a few years ago. I know how incredibly strong you are. Yes, losing a parent is incredibly hard, but I know that every single one of you, by helping each other out, will have an amazing future ahead of you, and you're going to be having a fantastic Christmas as well. All right, let's move on. So yeah, they got this all laid out in Us Weekly. And then in 2021, 1 year after stepping back from his senior royal duties alongside wife Meghan Markle, it was announced in February that Harry would return his military appointments to the Queen. He returned the titles of Captain General, Royal Marines, Honorary Air Commandant, Royal Air Force, what is that? Onington, and I've never heard of that before. And Commander in Chief, Commander in Chief, Small Ships and Diving, Royal Naval Command, because he would no longer be a working royal. Now, that had to be very hard, but it was necessary for growth. Okay, so we're almost there. Let me see. Go to the next one. Could that be any smaller? Okay, in 2021, Harry and Meghan addressed news of the Taliban taking hold in Afghanistan in August, calling for former military members to reach out and support one another amid the crisis. What's happening in Afghanistan resonates across the international Invictus community. The statement issued alongside Invictus Games CEO Dominic Reed read, many of the participating nations and competitors in the Invictus Game family are bound by a shared experience of serving in Afghanistan across the past 2 decades, and for several years, we have competed alongside Invictus Game Team Afghanistan. We encourage everybody across the Invictus network and the wider military community to reach out to each other and offer support for one another. The couple also shared a message of hope via the Archwell Foundation website. The world is exceptionally fragile right now as we all feel the many layers of pain due to the situation in Afghanistan. We are left speechless as we all watch the growing humanitarian crisis in Haiti and the threat of it worsening after last weekend's earthquake. We are left heartbroken, they wrote, as we all witness the continuing global health crisis exacerbated by new variants and constant misinformation. We are left scarred. The statement continued, when any person or community suffers, a piece of us does so with them, whether we realize it or not. And though we are not meant to live in a state of suffering, we as people are being conditioned to accept it. It's easy to find ourselves feeling powerless, but we can put our values into action together. That was beautiful. And I think we got one more or two more. So following a 2-year delay amid, 2022, following a 2-year delay amid the ongoing pandemic, the Invictus Games returned in April with a week-long schedule of events in the Netherlands. Harry and his wife were spotted at the welcome reception at The Hague before attending the opening day ceremony. And Harry attended in 2023 Invictus Games hosted in Dusseldorf, Germany, alongside his wife, Meghan. He kicked off the week-long event in September of that year with a series of public outings and was present for the duration of the games. As well he should be. Oh, I think this is the last one. And I think you know which one this one is. Of course you do. Yep, it is the last one. In 2024, just about, a month ago, it was announced in June that Harry would receive the Pat Tillman, the Pat Tillman Award for service in the 2024 ESPY Awards. The honor is named for the late NFL star and U.S. Army Ranger Pat Tillman, who was killed in 2004 during combat. Harry received public backlash after the announcement, and ESPN released a statement defending their choice. I'm not going to go into that one again. But so there you go. And so I think it is really cool that this and a few other places where I've actually seen his record being presented to some people for the first time. And that's why I say it's not all bad. I mean, I don't like that it's happening at all. And right now, Harry and Meghan are not really doing interviews because when you do an interview, you open yourself up for all kind of mishaps. And also, on occasion, sometimes we'll say, "Oh, I just wish they would set the record straight." And one of the things I find so crazy is when someone say, "Oh, they need to have a press conference," and just that only makes things worse. Trust me, it does. It only makes things worse because once you open yourself up like that, then that would give the media weeks and weeks and weeks, if not months and months, of going back and misinterpreting and twisting every single thing that you've said. So that could only make things worse. And there is a right time to present yourself to the public, to do an interview, but I think it's better to avoid it unless there is really a compelling reason to do so. And right now, they got too much to do, and it's just not a good time. So let's see here. Regina Mercedes says, "Hi, all. I am going to Dublin on Friday and London on Sunday. Any suggestions?" Thank you so much for the super chat. Well, I've never been to Dublin, been to London. I don't know how many days you have, but I like the idea of going to two cities in Europe. I don't know if you're in Europe or if, I'm sorry, if you're from Europe, but I always say at least do two cities. So you already got that done. But otherwise, weather permitted, I say just go see the city. Now, most places I go, I usually purchase a ticket for the city tour um, probably the next day after I get there. And if I have to wait for the hotel, and if I'm not totally wiped out tired, I will just go and buy a ticket, get the 2 day ticket, and hop on and off of the tour for that period of time. Now, I I always hear certain people say, "Oh, I don't like to do those tours. I'd like to do stuff on my own and get out of the, they want to get away. They feel like they're too cool to do the touristy thing. There's nothing wrong with being a tourist. What I like about those city tours is it helps to orientate you to your environment. And anything that looks interesting, like if you just stay on the tour bus, you could do like the whole tour probably in about 2 or 3 hours, right? Usually about 2 hours. Anything that looks interesting, I just go there the next day, or I may go back there that day if I'm done with the tour early. So I say try to get into the habit of at least getting a 1 day tour, possibly a 2 day tour if you enjoy the hop on, hop off concept. And that helps to orientate your mind to that particular city. So that's my suggestion, but recollections may vary. But whatever you do, start your day early so you don't miss a thing. Anyway, thank you for that. And I hope you enjoy yourself. Stay safe. Okay. Take a look for a couple of comments if there are any. Ada Ali, hello to you too. Okay. The media is forcing them to tune. Okay. Dance to their tune, that is not happening. And yeah. And you know what? The Sussexes have shut the media out. And it's a good thing because there was just too much room for abuse and mistreatment. They were mistreating the Sussexes. And I'm embarrassed to say that the American media They have been co-signing so much of that nonsense. Okay, so today in Scotland, this happened. They had one of those thistle ceremonies, a thistle, which is some kind of a, I don't know, it looks like something you add to a good chef salad. I don't know. And as you can see, for some people, it's just an excuse to wear a silly hat. And for other people, it's an opportunity to wear an ugly hat. And for that guy in the center, it seems like a reason to go out and remind people that you're still alive. Oh, Ada Ali, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Okay. I need a little Carmex. My lips are so dry. I know it's better. That is so much better. That is so much better. Okay. So right here, King Charles and Prince William met by protest at special Edinburgh ceremony. Say it isn't so. They were protested. Who would do such a thing? Graham Smith. Graham Smith. Oh, excuse me, my sinuses. Anyway, I'm just surprised. Who would organize such an event? Graham Smith. Oh, pardon me. Protesters gathered outside St. Giles Cathedral on Wednesday morning as Prince William, King Charles, Queen Camilla, the Queen Consort, attended a special service in the capital. Okay. Joan Garcia says, Baron, I love Harry and Meghan's website for people to read about their activities, yet the ignorant haters won't bother to even Google them and would rather hate. Thank you for the super chat. And yes, that is so true. They don't even want to know the truth. They don't even want to know the truth. Sometimes some of the lies are so ridiculous. I remember he never learned to fly. He dropped out. Or they'll say he was never a pilot. He was only a co-pilot. And I'm just like, what do you get out of this lie? What is it about that lie that is somehow making you feel empowered or hateful? I don't know. But I'm always shocked by this need to hate. I really am. And as I said yesterday, some of these people on these accounts, some of these people that go into social media, these are grandmas. These are the lady at the bake sale or someone in church or whatever they haunt from one day to the next. And yet, I wonder how many of them could stand the scrutiny of their neighbors, knowing who and what they really are. Although I'm sure some of the neighbors are like-minded, but it is really sad. Thank you for your comment. And Mama Jane, thank you for the super sticker. And thank you for being here on Royal Sussex. Okay. So right here, Prince William joined the King and Queen at a special service to welcome 3 new members of the Order of the Thistle. So it's not the Garter this time, it's the Thistle. The Order of the Thistle. Gesundheit. Thistle. Gesundheit. The Order of the Thistle. Oh, bless you. Gesundheit. Okay. Scotland's highest chivalric, am I saying it right? Chivalric order. They were also joined by Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh. I know she's glad she can finally say that. And the service at St. Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh today But the royal family were also met with protests, with people holding up banners saying, "Not my king." And of course, some of them had a reverse side to their banners. When they would look at Sophie, they would say, "Not my thing, not my thing, yuck, not my." Okay, I'm just being silly. I'm just being silly. Um, not my thing. But that's okay. I'm pretty sure that Edward has a sign of his own. Not my thing. Sorry, not my thing, love. Let's see. The king has personally selected Sir Jeff Palmer, a human rights activist and educator on Scotland and slavery, forensic anthropologist, Professor Baroness Sue Black, and Strom, right? And of Strom, while also he added, okay. Okay, who cares about this stuff? Oh, and it was Edward's birthday too. Yeah, let's move on. So take a look right there. There's William. There's William. And guys, pretty soon this is going to be all William. I wonder how many times he's going to call off. How many times will he find a reason why he just can't show up? But right now, he's on his best behavior, so he's pretty much walking in his father's footsteps. It seems rather strange, but because for a while there, it seems like he wasn't having anything to do with his father, right? After the queen died, and then even further, after the coronation, I can only think of a handful of times where he and his father were even in the same place or the same room. But it seems like they have made up or whatever has happened, or perhaps his father and his stepmother have helped him to manage whatever dodgy situation that happened on December the 28th, if you know what I mean. Whatever dodgy situation that was. And there, of course, are the protesters. Now, I actually have a video to share with you of said protests.
Not my king! 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 Not my king!
I love the way that they station themselves opposite the protesters just to make sure that you can get that angle of the protesters and the in this case the state Bentley.
Not my king! Not my king!
See there? And I do think this is the Royal Mile, which is in between Holyrood and St. Giles. This is probably that same street that was used when Charles went to the coronation up in Scotland, as well as when they had the Queen's other funeral in Scotland. They used this route here. So lots of interesting shops there. Very overpriced, but fun. And of course, there is a little close up. I was really surprised, though, that the Daily Mail actually have these images in the paper. Like, for instance, well, it was online. Let me see if I can show you. Not this one. This. This is actually a little collage that was used for the story in the Daily Mail. They included the protest. I guess because they're a permanent fixture, why not, right? And here's yet another angle where you can see the state Bentley. And look, it looks as though, I don't know if that's Charles or Camilla. I think that's Camilla waving. Yeah, that's Camilla. That's Camilla waving. You can see her hand is up, waving to the crowd. I am so sure that she is waving to them. And it's not the first time. They waved another time. So, and I think there'll be another protest on the 17th. They're going to have a protest for the opening of Parliament this month. Very cool. Oh, by the way, if you're just joining us, please make sure that you hit the like button. I almost never ask, but please do. It helps out the channel a lot. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Even if you're hate watching, if you're a deranger and you're hate watching, please subscribe so you'll know exactly when I'm coming on, and you can rehearse all of the negative, nasty things that you want to say. And you don't want to miss that, do you? Now, see, that was what they put on their social media. We protest here. And then the protest actually moved. This is at the ceremony itself. So you see that spire down the street? That is, I believe, St. Giles. But, or is that St. Giles? Yeah, I think that's St. Giles. They moved for the actual ceremony, which is where you can, well, there was two things that happened. This is at, I believe, is that at the Edinburgh Castle? Anyway, there's a week of festivities happening in Edinburgh, and this is them presenting the key to the city to Charles. So King Charles receives the key to the city. Now, what did we say about wearing anything that you purchased before the Queen died? Didn't we say burn all of the clothes that you acquired before the Queen died? Somebody wasn't listening, because Sophie decided that, okay, I won't wear the ugly wallpaper dress, but I will wear that ugly wallpaper hat. Why did she do that? Why? That hat is positively offensive. There is no reason why decent people had to look at that hat. It didn't work when the Queen was alive, and it certainly is not going to work now that she's dead. They should have buried that hat. Well, listen, when they opened up the vault to put the Queen and Philip in there, why didn't they just toss all of her clothes in there too? They really should have. Those clothes should be used to, maybe you could shred them and insulate a house with it or something. But it's not ever going to be in style. It's not that it's going to come back. It never was in style. That is horrible. That is horrible. Isn't that a mess? She actually wore that hat. What has the people of Scotland done to her? I wonder. Is she angry because she had to wait so long to get that title? I think so. I think the Duke of Edinburgh title eluded her for 25 years. So, out of protest, for the sake of protest, she decided, let me reach into my wardrobe and find the ugliest thing I own. And that's what she wore, was that hat. That cannot be a Philip Tracy. I don't think Philip Tracy would allow that to happen. Philip Tracy is not a masochist. There's no way in the world he would have created a hat like that. As a matter of fact, that hat should have a disclaimer saying very clearly, this is not a Philip Tracy hat. I hope they don't go bankrupt. Y'all know I don't like her. You know I don't like her. Ever since she gave that glaring look to Meghan at the funeral, I have had an end for this one. Yeah. This old broad, she wears mess. She wears mess like that ugly dress. And she tops it off with that stupid hat, too. uh, anyway, I got that out my system. Hey, Jules Ryder. That hat isn't offensive, is her? Woo! Okay. Anyway, didn't they have a show on PBS called This Old House? I think that you know how they would take the old house and do a renovation, This Old House with Bob Vila? They should have a show called This Old Hat, where they take a ugly hat. when when they took that fabric to the what do they call it? The person that makes the hat. Anyway, when they took that fabric to the hat maker, I'm pretty sure that once they left the appointment, that they all just kind of stood around and wept and cried and tried to figure out where they're going to work now, because letting a hat out of the shop like that is like a career ending move. Anyway, my condolences to Philip Tracy if they forced you to put that hat together. This old hag or this old beard, she looks weird. This old beard looks mighty weird with a flower hat and that ugly dress too. Oh, okay, okay. Anyways, let us move on. So there you have it. Charles emerging from the state Bentley. I don't know if Charles looks like he's stepping out of the car or if some like prehistoric bird has just broken out of his egg. I don't know. It's like a little baby bird, like a prehistoric pterodactyl or something, just smashed out of a egg that just happens to be maroon. But um, did they forget to do favors for the Daily Mail? Because there's no way this photo should have made it into the papers. But yet, the Daily Mail actually posted that image. They posted the protesters. They have Charles literally bursting out of the state Bentley. It's almost like his pants. It's almost like his pants is stuck on the seat. You know what I mean? Like maybe he sat on some gum. Is the belt buckle caught on his britches or what? Something is going on, but it seems like somebody's yanking the seat of his pants back. Let that old man out that car. And wait a minute, who's gonna tell him? Who's gonna tell them that those tassels are actually for the drapes, not for the cape? Those tassels are for the drape, not a cape. Somebody got to tell them. I don't think it's gonna. No, I can't do it. But somebody has to let them know that those tassels belong like at a movie theater or an opera house, but they look a bit comically large for a person to wear. That is some getup they got on. And look at Camilla, still a mess. Although she looks better than the last time she wore one of those capes. Do you remember when she wore that cape and they did a side by side that is, of Camilla and Queen Elizabeth? Oh my God, that was a disaster, wasn't it? She looked horrible. Let me see if I can find that photo. It's the one where Camilla is going up the steps of St. Paul. And remember, they didn't even announce this event was going to happen because they didn't want the protesters to meet them there. They didn't want the protesters, so they didn't even mention the event. They just kind of showed up as if nobody was going to notice them rolling up in that state Bentley. Now, look at this. This is a big, sloppy mess. Hold on a second. Wait for it. This is a big, sloppy mess. Look at there. Now, that's a queen. And that right there looks like somebody just put the dish towel down and grabbed something red and draped it over them and walked on out the door. You see there? What a sloppy mess. But she's better. I have to admit, she's doing better this time. But still, it's like they don't know how to close it or something. It's like they don't know how to close it. And again, what an offensive frock to wear. That is a ugly dress. Is that what it means to be royal? Is that you just go and find the ugliest thing you can find and just put it on? But she looks a sloppy mess. Big sloppy mess. A mess. They shouldn't have let her out the door like that. You know, somebody should tell her too, because the last time they let a queen out of a palace dressed like that, I think we were having a funeral soon thereafter. So I'm just saying, remember how they used to let the queen go out looking a mess? Although you have to give it to her, when she was, herself, she looked immaculate. She looked immaculate. It's just weird that that's the same gown and one looks finely tailored and the other one looks like a big sloppy mess. And she's just smiling like it's no big deal. Oh, well. One of these days, she'll figure it out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Angela Kelly is probably writing her memoir and having a big laugh right now. Although, they made a deal with Angela Kelly that she's not able to speak about the family ever. Well, I hope they find a way out of that. Long as she's not saying anything about the Sussexes, but then again, that's the only way that she could sell the book. uh, yeah, that's what they look like. It looks like something to clean with. And then, of course, what in the are you staring at, lady? What are you staring at? Are you looking for somebody? Are you expecting someone to walk up on you? Are you feeling like a fraud? Why is she staring like that? I mean, every so often, it seems like she's just fascinated with the camera. Look at that. She's the only one looking at. And what is Willie looking at? What is Willie looking at? William looks just like that turtle from that Disney cartoon. No, it was Warner Brothers, wasn't it? Remember the tortoise and the hare? He looks just like that turtle. Wham Joy says, you don't want to know what Camilla does with those tassels. Well, let us just say it's probably illegal in certain states, and Charles loves it. Hello. Who knows where those tassels been? In a world with old wrinkled behinds, all I know is the way it smells. It's true. Don't ask, don't tell. Don't ask, don't tell. Leg says, example of dignity, Queen Elizabeth II versus impropriety. Cow. I love it. Dignity and impropriety. There you go. That should be their Secret Service code names. Dignity and impropriety. As a matter of fact, what was that they had for the Queen? Operation London Bridge. I think for Camilla, it should be Operation Impropriety. Yeah, that should be the code name. The protocols kick in. You know, they have to call a veterinarian to make sure that, they're actually, you know, able to start planning all of those things. So, yep. I just want to know, who is she going to leave her horseshoes to? Big sloppy mess. Such a savage. Okay, so I mentioned yesterday that I had a couple of examples of how they have mislabeled things just to get people to look at it. So yesterday, one of the squatties shared this image. Oh, wait, sorry about that. One of the squatties shared that image, saying that they are not going to open up that article, even though they're trying to trick people into reading it. She said she's not going to bother. And I thought about it. Oh, this ain't the first time they pulled this little stunt. See there? It was Andy Sussex that said, sitting innocently in my office when this article came up on my news feed. I refused to read anything about Willie Psychopath. Look at how the air. Anyway, so let me go over here and check it out. See, this is what I mentioned yesterday. There's the one about the butterfly, a royal butterfly. Duchess of Sussex captures Charlotte's wonder as she cradles fragile insect. Who? I mean, if you take a look at the photo in the upper right, that's not Megan, that's Kate. So why is Megan referenced here? Because they want people to read the article. And this is not just online, they printed the paper. And then on the right side, fit for a king. Inside the plane, the royals use as Kate Middleton and Prince William jet into Belize, right? But they actually, oh, you know what? I think I got the wrong one. Oh, Lord, I got the wrong one. It was a different one that had Prince Harry instead of Kate. Anyway, I messed that up. Oh, well. But yeah, there's a different one where they got the name wrong. I'm sorry, and I thought that was it. But anyway, it was from their trip to Belize. Okay. If it is about Sway Sway, why Harry's pick? Because they want people to read it. That's the only. You got to trick people into reading about the rest of them. You literally have to trick them, because if you don't trick them, there's no way that they'll bother. That's the only way to make people interested, is you have to trick them. Otherwise, is that dog's just not gonna hunt. Let me see. Do I have the right one? Let me see here. Belize. 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 Huh. Yeah, now I can't find it. But there was one that said Prince Harry, and I don't see it now. Oh, well, never mind. Wow. Can you believe that was April of 2022? That was April of 2022 when they lost half the Commonwealth. And that was the last time that they had a real royal tour. That was the last time they were allowed to leave the country together. You know what? I just thought about that. Okay, they hopped over to France for a football game, but aside from that, they haven't done anything royal together. I mean, that was Willie's patronage, right? But they haven't done anything royal together. Uh, I'm thinking, well, they just haven't. They haven't done anything royal together ever since they had the episode in there. Wowee. Interesting. Okay, I am stalling, but no, I don't see it. Oh well, no matter. Earl and Countess of Wessex canceled trip to Grenada. I'm sure you did. I just saw that headline fly past. Oh, you guys, I got so many receipts. I got a ton of receipts. A ton of them. Proceed with caution. This website generally fails to maintain basic standard of accuracy and accountability. That is a reference to the Daily Mail. That is a reference to the Daily Mail. Okay, anyway, let's move on. Raffaella Bertoni, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for being here tonight. So, do you guys remember him? This nice guy. Oh, I hate the fact that he's gotten mixed up with the likes of, well, I'll show you. This was a podcast. What's the deal between Prince William and Rupert Murdoch's tabloids? Now, aside from the fact that this guy has amazing eyes, it should be pointed out that he seems like an independent journalist with integrity, right? Who just happens to have amazing eyes. Anyway, let me see if I can find that here. Let's see if I can find it. And if I can't, it doesn't make a difference. But I just wanted to just possibly. Oh, there it is.
I'm Paul Caruana-Galizia. I'm a reporter at Tortoise. There's a line that's been missed from Prince Harry's last interview where he said he's moving his mission of changing the British media landscape from a personal mission to his life's work. So, in summary, Prince Harry's claims, they are that the tabloids breached his right to privacy. Unlike many other claimants, he seems determined to go to court. If he does succeed in doing that, then starting this summer, we'll see some of the most powerful figures in this country's media appear in court to testify to those allegations. To listen, click on the link or search Slow Newscast wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay. So great eyes, wonderful accent, and he also seems to have integrity. Unfortunately, and this really makes me sad, but unfortunately, look who he is sitting next to. Look who he's sitting next to. Oh my God. Look at who he's sitting next to. Do you guys recognize that person? That is Rachel Johnson, Boris Johnson's sister. So they're doing a podcast about a British writer who has been accused of a, what do they call that? Me Too situation, right? A Me Too situation. I don't even know who this writer is. I don't care. But I just hate the fact that this reporter that seems to have a bit of integrity would find himself working or teamed up with the likes of her. I was like, what the what? Why? And I can understand. It's one of those things that he's likely to address. He's like a reporter, very much in the American tradition of reporters. He doesn't seem very tabloidy, but yet that's Boris Johnson's sister. His name is Paul Garana Galizia, and this is like the introduction to their podcast, and I'm like, ugh, ugh. So right here, oh, you know what? That Zara Tindall thing ain't supposed to be there. Let me see if I can skip ahead of that. Anyway, Harry and Meghan have booby-trapped coronation for young stars as King struggles to fill the bill. This is where she accuses Harry and Meghan of causing so much controversy that remember how they found it difficult to book people to perform for Charles and Camilla on the day of the coronation? It was very difficult to find artists that were willing to work that day. Everybody had a thing, right? They all made excuses. The only person that they could find was Lionel Richie and what's her name? Katy Perry. So that was it. Lionel Richie and Katy Perry. Those were the big stars they found. Everybody else, including Ed Sheeran, stayed away. She looks like Bojo, doesn't she? Yeah, she looks like Bojo, Mr. Bojangles. Anyway, I was so disappointed. I'm like, don't talk to her. And if there's any doubt, I mean, look at there. They look like twins. They literally look like twins. But this is the one who said that Meghan's exotic DNA, something about Meghan's exotic DNA, which sounds very, very racist. I don't care how you look at it. To say that anyone that's black, any person of color, to reference their exotic DNA, that sounds awful. That sounds awful. You know, if the person wants to make if a person of color is making a joke about themselves, some people might find it funny, but you, as I won't call her English Rose, but you being who you are, it doesn't set well. It does not set well. And so when they remember when CBS television, after the Oprah interview, when they were showing a collage of images like Straight Outta Compton and the other things that they were saying Well, one of the things that they referenced was the exotic DNA article, right? So she really caught some heat for that. And also, you should know that she what do you call it? She had got in trouble again when she went to the US, and I wish I could find that podcast, but she was doing a podcast or a radio show, and she was posing as a feminist. Yeah, she's a feminist, but she's a gatekeeper feminist. She's the kind of feminist that is all for womanhood except for women of color. If you're black or Asian or Latin or something like that, there's no room for you at the top. If you don't look like her, then you're the wrong kind of womanhood. So she's a feminist, but only for white women, not for women of color. So she went on one of those podcasts or something like that, and the woman asked her about the exotic DNA thing, and she stumbled on her words and gave some little half answer or something like that. She thought she was going to come to the US, and listen, you all, when I tell you that there is a difference between the approach of racism here in comparison to racism in the UK, you are more likely, now it could happen either way on either side of the Atlantic, but you are more likely to have that question posed to you um, on a U.S. Podcast or news show or whatever. You're more likely to have that happen, especially if part of their demographics is made up by people of African descent, African Americans. Then there's a greater chance that you're going to get called on the carpet or called out for some of your past transgressions, if you will. So she thought that she was going to come over here and clean up her image, but she was set straight almost as soon as she got off the plane. Oh, I loved it. I loved it. She thought she was going to clean up her. No. And see, this is what I am enjoying is seeing how a lot of these people that get away with that nonsense across the pond, they come over here and they realize that they're not as easily forgiven, or they can't just get away with some of the silly things that they managed to pull over in the UK. So, what could I say? It didn't work. It didn't work. So, I am not trying to subscription shame you all, but I noticed today that the Royal Read only had 112 subscribers. I said 112, 64 videos and 112 subscribers. Now you all know we can do better than that. And she just been working her heart out. Now it is getting crowded in the Sussex friendly universe, but that's no excuse. So you all please make sure you support her channel. Now I did notice that a lot of you all have done exactly that, and I do thank you for it because it takes a lot of work to put these together. And she is absolutely delightful, and you're going to love her content. So I see right now she has 257 subscribers. I am very sure that if everyone who's here right now were to go over there and subscribe, those of you that haven't, that we could probably get her close to 1,000 tonight. I'm just saying. She's lovely, and I love her approach, and I couldn't believe it. I'm just like, how come I haven't seen her channel before? And I don't know if I meant to go back and watch it and I didn't or whatever, but I had to subscribe today too. So if everybody that's here would do that, we can get her so much closer to 1,000 subscribers. Okay, I see one more person has subscribed while I'm talking right now. Can we do better than that? Let me put the link up on the screen. Again, I don't mean to subscriber shame you guys, but um, she has 64 videos and only had 100 subscribers. That's outrageous. You know, the Sussex friendly channels, we support all the channels. So let me find the link. And I'm going to put it here. Oh, Lydia's got it already. Thank you. Now I'm going to put that at the top of the chat. Replace pin. There we go. So, all right, Sussex Squad, do what you do. Okay, we're getting there. I see some more, like about 5 more. Yeah, so let's make it do what it do, and let's try to get her as close to 1,000 between, let's say, tonight and tomorrow. So the link is at the top of the chat. I'm going to leave it there, but 64 videos, that's a lot of work for 100 subscribers, honestly. And sometimes you all are looking for a place that's safe, a place where you can hear someone talk about the topics of the day or whatever. Well, here's yet another option. So, but yeah, I felt kind of bad when I saw that. I'm like, this girl doing all this work. Where are the subscribers? So thank you all. I really, really do appreciate it. And it's because of this that the Sussexes have this ring of protection around them. The ancestors, the Sussex Squad, and a bunch of other people. Of course, the military, right? All of that. So again, thank you all. Oh, 321. Wow, we're getting there. We are getting there. Amazing. Thank you all so much. I really, really appreciate it. I know it just kind of flew under the radar, Reva Henderson, but she's been there, and I think she had taken from what I could see from one of the older videos, she had taken a break from the channel for a little while, and then she came back. But she's just delightful. She's just delightful. You're gonna love her. She is absolutely delightful. So I feel bad too because I think I had known of the channel, but then I didn't go back and look at it, and I certainly did not subscribe. And then finally, I went. It came up today, and I'm like, oh, I missed this. So anyway, that's enough of all that who shot John. The important thing is now you know, and by you all subscribing, then you know she'll be more likely to make more videos and such. So it's a win-win for everyone involved. We can grow the community, we can grow our Sussex friendly spaces, and so on. So that's why I got Marley Gibb. That's why I got Florence, because I was trying to not subscriber shame you, but I was trying to make the point. And if anybody can motivate you, Florence with that smirk on her face, that'll do it. That will do it. Let me see. Okay. And there you go. See, that's what I'm talking about. I looked at the analytics. It was 112 subscribers and 64 videos. That's a lot of work for 100 subscribers. I was ashamed. I did. I felt a bit ashamed. I'm just like, how come I haven't subscribed yet? So I made sure that I did. Oh, thank you, Emmy. Yeah, she's really sweet. I really enjoyed it. Okay. So tomorrow is Independence Day, or let me see. Well, for those of you on the East Coast, it's already Independence Day. And we started the week with Canada Day. So Independence Day is tomorrow. There's going to be barbecues and fireworks and so on and so forth. So please stay safe this week. For some of you all, you'll probably start your weekend early, but stay safe. If you're on the roads, be careful. And I know the history of this country as much as I do know, and sometimes it doesn't seem like it. But listen, this is my country too, and whatever you are, whatever foreign extraction, if you just got here or whatever, this is your country too. So if you're an American, you're an American. Even if you're a green card holder, this is your country too. And don't let anybody try to say otherwise, because they love to other people. There are no others. My family go back in this country for generations. It doesn't matter whether it was generations or they just got here. You know, I'll tell you an interesting story. Have you guys ever heard of Anton Cermak? Anton Cermak. Um, Back in the 30s, there was an assassination attempt on President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, newly elected president. So Franklin Roosevelt was making the rounds. He went down to Florida, and in the motorcade, it included Anton Cermak. And some like crazy anarchist, Giuseppe something or other, he emerged from the crowd and took some shots at Franklin Roosevelt. And it's hard to believe that American history was so perilously close to disaster that day. But it was. I think it was back in 1933. And well, they didn't get Roosevelt, but they mortally wounded some woman in the crowd. And also, they mortally wounded Anton Cermak. Now, Anton Cermak was born in the Czech Republic. And he was part of a very vibrant Czech community in the city of Chicago. And when he was running for mayor of Chicago, people made fun of him because his name wasn't very familiar. Cermak. They're like, we can't even say your name. Why should we vote for you? And he had the best comeback that you could imagine. He said, maybe I didn't come over on the Mayflower, but I got here as soon as I could. Did you get all that? That was his way of dealing with people that were trying to, make fun of him as a person of foreign extraction. I think maybe he was possibly first generation American or second generation, whatever the case was. His family was from the Czech Republic. And so he told them, he said, maybe I didn't get over here on the Mayflower, but I got here as fast as I could. And I was just like, I love that. That comeback is probably what won him the office of mayor. But sadly, because he was in the company of Franklin Roosevelt, whom he helped to elect, he was actually killed in, I think it was Miami. Now, some people say that it was Alphonse Capone's gang, that had it in for Mayor Cermak because he was cracking down on them or something like that. Who knows? But I think it was more likely about Franklin Roosevelt because, well, after all, this was an anarchist. But whatever the case may be, that's a little bit of American history that I'm sure most of you have never heard before. But and I wasn't even expecting to talk about that, but I just wanted to make the point that this is your country too. And wherever you live in the Western world, if you are in Britain, then you're British. If you're in France, you're French. If you're in Canada, you're Canadian. Do not let people try to take your birthright away. And that's what they constantly do, is try to other people. And by doing that, they undermine society as a whole. That is it really it wins votes for politicians to make people hate each other, but ultimately it makes society very fragile. And that's how January the 6th happened. So anyway, that was my soapbox moment for the night. Sorry for the lecture, but that is just one of the things that bothers me. You know, I'm very pro immigration, migration. I'm very much for that. Um, if you don't want people to come over, then stop making life difficult where they've come from, right? America's meddling is disrupting things all over the place. And not just America, but the French, the British, the British, and everybody else. The Germans, we all keep messing with other people's um, resources and such. We want to buy clothes for, we want to buy jeans for $15 when the actual price of the clothing should be much higher. It should be much higher. As an American, we pay less for a lot of things than most people in the world. And you all don't know how blessed you are. So when you're complaining about how much food and all that stuff costs, you are still paying less than a lot of other people. So be very appreciative of your very Western lifestyle with your smartphones and such, because a lot of people have struggled to keep you comfortable. And a lot of people have suffered to keep you comfortable. So stop complaining. All right. When you see it, let me know. By the way, that's Katie Hopkins. Katie Hopkins. Sounds like a disease, doesn't it? Oh my God, doctor. I'm sorry. You have a case of Katie Hopkins. Let me know when you see it. Now, I'm not sure, but I don't think that this was I don't think that this is well, let me know. Let me know. Katie Hopkins, a known Meghan hater, someone who I just saw an interview where she referred to Meghan as trailer trash. She literally just did an interview, I think 6 months ago, where she referred to the Duchess of Sussex as trailer trash. And I'm like, does she have a mirror? Does she own a mirror? Not to disparage people who live in trailers. So let me see here. Carmen, you got it. Yes, it says dog handler. Now, it looks a bit suspect to me. Anyway, but someone posted that, and I'm like, you know what? Good enough for me. And yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. Dog handler. And not only does it look right, it's probably accurate. When I tell you I cannot stand this broad, oh, she gets on my nerves. Yes, who said wannabe? There you go. And Vanzola, I told you, I don't know how we have this connection, but somehow you must have known that this was the next photo. This is Katie Hopkins trying to mock the Duchess of Sussex. This was the look she was going for, and yet it came out like this. How do you go from this to this? Meghan, Katie, Katie, Meghan. What happened? Talk about lost in translation. Lost in translation. And then, of course, I kept looking at her face. I kept looking at her face. And I said to myself, who does she remind me of? Now, I have a few theories because, you know, in Hollywood, people get around. I have identified Thomas Markle as Aunt B and Otis the Wino's love child. I have identified Kate Middleton as Jim Neighbors' love child. I have identified what's her name? The oh gosh, what is her name? Jan Moore. I have identified who her alleged real father is. And then I kept looking at her and I'm just like, I'm starting to question her paternity. So I can only come to one conclusion. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for the big reveal? Katie Hopkins, I don't know who the mother is. Okay. I don't know who the mom is. But Katie Hopkins is the love child of no. Oh, by the way, one more of Meghan. Meghan is absolutely breathtaking. Breathtaking. But Katie Hopkins is, in all likelihood, I am going to allege that she is the love child. Don't know the mother, but the late actor. Oh, by the way, take a look here. Victoria Beckham, age 44. Katie Hopkins, age 43. Could you believe she looked like that at age 43? And then take a look on the right. Now she's 49. Katie Hopkins is only what? 7 years older than Meghan? 6 years older than Meghan? How? How? How is that possible? Talk about look at what the cat dragged in. How is that possible that she's only a few? How old is J-Lo? You see what happens when you're a nasty individual? When you're cruel and mean-spirited? Okay, now the big reveal. Katie Hopkins is the unfortunate, cursed, and not beloved at all love child of the late actor Don Knotts. There you go. There you go. Don Knotts obviously had been on business in the United Kingdom and somehow fathered a child that he probably never knew or took one look at it and rejected it. Yeah, there you go. The late actor Don Knotts sired that beast on the left side of the screen, Katie Hopkins, that Meghan hating, America loathing, and dare I say, just a tinge racist. But yeah, there you go. You know, I could not wrap my head around it. I said, just who does she look like? Who does she look like? And then I heard a voice say, gosh, Andy. Hey, Andy. Oh, Aunt B, do you think I can get some more of that pie? Me and Thelma Lou are going to go over to Mount Pilot for some of that Chinese food. Yeah, I kept hearing Mr. Furley and Barney Fife in my head. I could not get rid of it. I kept hearing Mr. Furley. And I said, my God, Don Knotts is her father. So if she would have had her father's name instead of Hopkins, which I think sounds like a disease, but if she would have had her father's name instead of Katie, let me see, Don Knotts, what would they have probably called her? Well, considering you couldn't tell whether it was a boy or a girl, they would have probably called her What Knots. Get it? What Knots? Don Knotts and his daughter What Knots. You know, What Knots. What Knots is usually, let me see. Let me find out what the definition, What Knots, and see if that sounds like Katie Hopkins. Let me see. What Not refers to items or items that are not identified but are felt to have something in common with items already named. So there you go. There you go. You know, sometimes you could just look at a child and the name will come to you. And so I'm pretty sure if the mother would have said to Don Knotts, what should we name her? Well, gosh, I suppose What Knots. And the name would have been very fitting. But instead, they call it Katie Hopkins. So, yeah, I knew. I just knew it. I knew it. I said, holy cow, I've seen that before. I've seen that before. And Jumpin' Jack Flash, it looked like something right out of Mayberry RFD. Yep. Can I call it or can I call it? This is the best thing that I've done since, remember Jeremy Clarkson, when I figured out who his real parents were? You remember that? Can anybody name the parents? At that time, I was able to figure out both of the parents. Yeah, that time I was able to name both parents. Just to refresh your memory, take a look. Take a look. Nancy Culp from the Beverly Hillbillies and Jim Neighbors. That's their love child. Poor Jeremy Clarkson, don't even know he was adopted. But you know, Jim Neighbors has been getting around. Jim Neighbors has been getting around, y'all. I'm telling you. And the thing is, I thought he was that way. But apparently he's not. He is quite the stud muffin because he happens to possibly be the parent of a member of the royal family. And you won't believe who. You won't believe who. I promise you, you're going to be surprised. You're going to be surprised when I show you who. Okay, are you ready for the big reveal? Here goes. Oh, there you go. There you go. See how they got that same mouth askew? See how they got that mouth askew? Now tell me that Kate Middleton does not remind you of Jim Neighbors? See there? Got that same mouth askew. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, one more. We got to do Jan Moore. We got to do Jan Moore. My other, my other, um, I'm telling you, my eyes are like a paternity test. Yep, the actor Jack Elam. I do believe that the actor Jack Elam somehow, some way, is the actual, let me see, father Elam. Okay, here we go. Here we go. If you haven't seen this before, brace yourself. The the what do you call it? The resemblance is uncanny. See there? See there? Got it. Nailed it. Nailed it. Nailed it. I don't know why I don't get a job with the CIA. I don't know why I don't get a job with the CIA because I am so good at this. I'm so good at this. Yep. Gosh, Andy, me and Thelma Lou are going to go over to Mount Pilot. I can just see Katie Hopkins hanging outside of Floyd the barber shop looking for her father. Zara the tongue ring Tendo is shaken to the core by Mom Princess Anne's amnesia, family falling apart. Well, apparently, Zara is upset, and she should be. I mean, after all, that's her mother. Princess Anne is her mother. And her mother was, oh gosh, what is that song? I can't remember what happened to her. I have to sing the song. Wait a minute. How lucky can one guy get? Let me see. I'm happy as I can be. What happened to her? Let me see. Oh, okay. Now it's coming back to me. Now it's coming back to me. Okay. Y'all, this ain't right. Okay. How lucky can one one guy be? I kissed her and she kissed me. Like the fella once said, ain't that a kick in the head? That's it. She got kicked in the head. I could not remember that for nothing. She got kicked in the head. She got amnesia because she got kicked in the head. And I'm like, po horse. Po horse. I wonder if the horse was trying to get away because there's something about these royal horses. They keep trying to make a run for it. YM Droid, Adrian B. may have found the mom, Fred Gwynn. Not Fred Gwynn. You mean to tell me Herman Monster is the mom? Oh, I love it. Fred Gwynn. I was not expecting Fred Gwynn. Oh, well, thank you for that, for solving that caper. Greatly appreciated. I tell you, there's nothing like the Sussex Squad Detective Agency. Now, I can only say this. If I was Princess Anne, I would give up horse riding because she's going to turn into one of her ancestors. If you guys remember that story about the headless horseman, if she don't stop messing around with them horses, she's going to find herself in some Tim Burton movie. She is going to find herself in a Tim Burton movie. So, Princess Anne, Afro Annie, if you're listening, please give up the horses. You're getting to that point where it is dangerous, right? I mean, you can only take so many kicks before you start riding around like what was the headless horseman's name? What was the headless horseman's name? Wasn't it Ichabod? I thought his name was like Ichabod Crane. Uh you know I'm old. I remember the headless horseman. A ghost of a Hessian soldier who was decapitated by a cannonball during the American Revolution. Oh, okay. Wow, that's bad. Yeah, Ichabod Crane. That was his name. Wow, I got a good memory. Ichabod Crane, the headless horseman. Yep. Well, I'm telling you, if Anne don't cut it out, she gonna be riding around like Ichabod. Next time she needs a hat from Philip Tracy, she can just stay home and just send her head. Oh, that's so bad. You guys, I have really, really been bad tonight. Oh, the Royal Reed. Hi, Royal Reed. We were just talking about you. What? Well, you've been working so hard. And, you know, in the Sussex Squad community, we always show support to Sussex friendly spaces. You know that. So keep up the good work. And we are going to keep up with your channel for sure. So anyway, I really like the work you're doing, and I was just surprised. I was looking at these nice videos, and I'm just like, where are the subscribers? So don't worry, we're going to get you there. You'll probably be at 1,000 by the end of the week. So again, if you guys have not subscribed, the Royal Read is here right now. You all can go to that link at the top of the chat. Oh wait, is it still up there? But and show some support because this is very hard work. And oh, you just could not imagine. You could not imagine. It's gotten a lot easier for me, but still, there are days when I'm just like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. But then I would miss talking to you all. So I also enjoy it very, very much. So again, thank you all for subscribing. Please do support all of these Sussex friendly spaces. All right. And thank you for stopping by to say hi, Royal Reed. Let me see. Maybe Afro Annie tried to ride Camilla, but yeah, either that or Camilla has been had somebody training those horses to react to afros. That's what I think. She has been like every time the horses go past like a bush or hedges or something like that, they get a reaction because they have been trained to react to large, puffy, curly things. So there you go. That's what I think it is. So anyway, Afro Annie is home, and they said that the horses on the estate has been practicing their jump. Although to me it looks like they're practicing a kick, but whatever they're doing, I say it's time to give up the horses and ride in the carriage like everybody else. Now, I'm almost done, you guys. Take a look here. I don't know if you recognize that, but that is someone snapping a photo from an airplane. And you can see they're above the clouds. But what I love about this photo actually went viral. If you take a look beneath the clouds, what do you see? What a phenomenon. That is someone riding in a plane, flying in a plane, and just beneath the clouds, you can see the reflection of the city of Chicago reflecting on Lake Michigan. Isn't that a cool effect? That is the sun above, the clouds in the middle, and the reflection of the city of Chicago on Lake Michigan where the clouds break. That is so cool. I've had this photo for a few years and I don't think I've ever shared it, but it went viral and it's like one of my favorite photos. So when you see our queens, it's time to go. And y'all know what that means? Okay, so there's Queen Doria, Queen Diana, and of course, special thanks to the Mod Squad for always keeping this a very, very safe space. And let me see. You know what? I forgot my quote of the day. What did I do with it? Oh, you know what? I didn't put it on here. So let me go ahead and find that. Okay, here goes. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the determination to move forward despite it, right? Courage is not the absence of fear, it's the courage to move on in spite of fear. So, anyway, that's the best I could do on a Wednesday night. Love you guys. Thank you so much. It is time for the Ginger Avenger, and I will see you all tomorrow. I'll probably have one of my short videos pop up overnight. Look forward to that. But thank you all so much. Thank you for 60,000 subscribers. And remember, we're going to try to get Royal Reed over 1,000 by the weekend, right? So we're going to get her over 1,000 by the weekend. So not only should you subscribe, but if you can, share. Caring and sharing, right? So share. Okay, let's cue the Ginger Avenger, and I will see you all tomorrow. Okay, once again, make it do what it do. I'm done, so you have no excuse now. Get over there and subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. And the royal read will be over 1,000 by the weekend. Make it happen. Okay. I know Fred Gwynn. Bum, 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 bum. I love the Monsters theme. That was a jam right there. That was my jam. Connie Bomber. Hey, Connie Bomber. Connie Bomber, we're all subscribing to a new Sussex friendly channel. If you look at the top of the chat, that is the Royal Read, and we're all subscribing today. I just did today as well. How about that? So again, caring is sharing, or sharing is caring. So make sure that not only does everyone subscribe, but that you share. So that way, this is the real benefit of it. There are people that are going to go on the internet, and instead of being greeted by another negative channel proclaiming all kind of wicked things, isn't it nice to have an alternative to that? You don't know how many times I've heard people say, I didn't know that there were any channels like this out there. Well, there are a bunch of people out there that are fighting the good fight, setting the record straight. And of course, the more the merrier. So that way we can grow this community. We can change these terrible, nasty, negative messages that's going out and replace them with something good and decent and wholesome. Like talking about, I don't know, Nigeria, the trip to Nigeria, that kind of stuff. So, okay. Good night for real. For real, for real. Cynthia Saunders, hello to you too. Thank you. Happy it is Independence. Well, I still got 4 minutes, but yeah, it is Independence Day. Did you guys notice that I switched it up? This is my official Swiss cowbell. It was a gift from Connie Palmer. Yes, another one for the Sussex umbrella. Okay, and good night. I can't believe I was on for almost 3 hours yesterday. That ain't gonna happen again. I know. If I keep doing that, next thing you know, Camilla's gonna tip up on me, right? Yeah, I don't want to call Camilla, that's for sure. I'm pretty sure every time I do that, one of her ears pop up. Marinated my ribs. Now bye. Oh, okay. All right. All right. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.